So enormous are the distances between the stars that even at light speed, journeys of hundreds, even thousands of years are necessary to cross them. Only the invention of warp drive made interstellar travel a practical possibility. Warp drive enables spaceships to leave normal space and enter hyperspace, traveling colossal distances in a flash. Once man discovered warp drive, his spaceship spread out over his own galaxy in a wave and even began exploring the galaxies beyond. In time, interstellar travel became routine, but there were still dangers. One of them was warp smash. A ship tries to leave hyperspace at exactly the same point occupied by another. Two sets of atoms and molecules try to fill the same position in space and time. The result? Instant mutual annihilation. However, there were exceptions, freak accidents in which the impossible happened. This was to be one of them. The interstellar cruise liner Empress flashed through hyperspace, en route for the pleasure planet Azure, a sun-kissed jewel of the galaxy, where her hundreds of tourist passengers could indulge themselves in all the pleasures of warm seas, perpetually blue skies, and long beaches of fine blue sand. Their journey was almost over. Soon the Empress would emerge into normal space and enter landing orbit around the planet. In the big old-fashioned control room of the Empress, Captain Rigg was feeling worried and was trying to work out why. There didn't seem to be anything to worry about. The spacious control room was functioning with its usual calm efficiency. The Empress was old now, but she had been solidly built in the vintage years of space travel. Her computerized controls could have flown and landed the ship almost without human aid. Secker, the navigator, certainly wasn't worried. He was lounging at his instrument console, smiling vaguely, completely and utterly relaxed. That was the trouble, Rigg decided. Secker was too relaxed. Re-entry from hyperspace was one of the traditional crisis points in space travel, just like takeoff and landing in the good old days of powered atmospheric flight. Any good spaceman ought to be a little worried at a time like this. There should be attention, an awareness that, although this might be only the latest of hundreds of uneventful re-entries, it was possible, however unlikely, that something could go wrong. Perhaps it was just because Secker was so young. Rigg himself was a tough, balding veteran, near the age limit for a space pilot. He had never flown with Secker before, though he knew that the young man was reputed to be one of the most brilliant navigators in the service.
We seem to be a little ahead of schedule, Secker.
Great. Sooner we get in, the better.
Rigg flicked the intercom switch.
Captain here. We are coming out of warp drive in 30 seconds. Standard passenger announcement, please.
In the passenger area, bored and weary tourists were dozing, viewing videocassettes, listening to stereotapes, nibbling snacks, eating and drinking and chatting with their neighbors. The space coveralls and protective goggles they all wore made them look terrifyingly similar, like rows of dolls on a production line. There was a musical chime and an inhumanly calm and soothing voice.
This is your flight computer speaking. We are about to leave warp drive and re-enter normal space in orbit around the planet Azure. Passengers may leave their seats when the blue light comes on, but are requested not to remove their protective coveralls until instructed.
There was a pause as the lights on the display panel flicked from blue to amber and then to red.
Passengers are requested to remember that the Empress will be at 7/10 G upon re-entry. Please be careful when you start to move around.
The warning was a very necessary one. It was not unknown for inexperienced space travelers to leap eagerly from their seats and go hurtling across the cabin. The passengers settled back, preparing themselves for the odd, wrenching sensation that always came on entering and leaving hyperspace.